Okay, guys, what's up? It's Tuesday morning. Jay here, SmartHelping.com. We're going to get into this dashboarding of the construction KPI success uh, dashboard. I've got a couple of modifications I'm going to do to our column layout, and then we're going to start building the dashboard formulas and everything else. Um, this template will be included in the accounting bundle, the HR bundle, and the sales pipeline CRM template bundle. Also, KPI dashboards in here. There's already one in here. I'm pumped to do this. It's going to be really cool. And remember, guys, you can buy all the financial models, templates, and tools I've done at SmartHelping.com for $9.99. Lifetime access. Lots of value here. If you use Excel or never have used Excel, you're either going to learn a lot of stuff or, well, you're going to learn a lot of stuff in general, learn logic, um, all kinds of great, awesome stuff. Um, Throughout industries, SaaS, PaaS, recurring revenue structures, real estate underwriting tools, startup financial models, joint venture cash flow distributions, accounting trackers, templates, and tools, HR trackers and tools, personal finance, Google Sheet architectures and databases, sales pipeline CRM, and general valuation. So all sorts of stuff I've done over the years. Been doing this since 2016 professionally, and it's really awesome. Okay, we'll go over to Twitter, send out the link, and get started. The sound check sounds good. Live dashboarding, construction biz, success. All right. So I've got a cool idea, and I think we're going to put target margins and target gross profit per job, and then we'll track on the dashboard how many jobs have met that criteria or not. I also, because we're going to do more, those will have to be calculated fields. I want to put all the calculated fields at the end of the database. That way, when you're trying to clear out data and manage the different input columns, you don't have these calculated fields in between inputs because that can get confusing. So we're going to do all of these at the end. We'll even put it after notes. So we want this to be over here. We want this one to be over here. So here's the gross profit of all your quotes. Here's the actual gross profit of the jobs after they've been completed. It's really nice that we're doing these calculations and movements before we build the formulas. Um, so these are all calculated fields. We'll give them, well, the light gray kind of identifies them as that, so that's fine. We're also going to do, let me put a space in between here. So these will be quote profit margins, gross profit margin. So if, let's see the calc, okay, yeah, so we could do if M2 equals blank, then blank. Otherwise, take the gross profit divided by the actual total quote. And there's your percentage. Now these can just be, we don't need decimals on this. And we can drag that down. Note, when I do the Google Sheet version, these will be arrays, so they're not formulas being dragged down. They're just arrays in the top row that will go down as far as data gets entered. But for Excel, I have to do drag down, so we drag it down 2,000 rows so you can track up to 2,000 jobs at once. If you wanted to do more, you can just highlight the whole bottom row and drag it down more. And that's, that's how you got to do it in Excel. Now for the actual gross profit margin, it's this one divided by the actual revenue. Now, why is this? I know why this is saying cell different. The formula in the cell is different, which is supposed to be, but it should be not a big deal. So this is referencing B. I guess these all can reference B. Yeah, see, so that worked because this is B and B. This is, oh, I see, because this was O and this was, okay, hold on, let me undo actually, because I'd rather have it the other way. Okay, so we drove that down. This is referencing M. This is referencing B. This can reference M. Nope, that didn't change it. Let me see what can I change here. Okay, that's fine then. It's trying to do a pattern, so we'll just reference B for all of for these. And column B is just the job ID. So if you don't have a job ID in here, it's not going to give you any data on all these calculated fields. All right, so we have our average gross profit. We can count and do some math with that. I believe we have enough data here to start on the dashboard. Let me put a job type into this one. Okay, so let's go to the dashboard. First things first, remove grid lines. Now, this will be a work in progress. Let's think about what we want to see here. And no, these are completed. So once you complete the job, you'd put in this, you'd put in what the quote was, expected cost, and you could start filling it out as you know the quote and expected cost before you finish the job, but just don't put in a job ID until it is completed or a date. All right, let's think here. So right in the top left, we want to say, in general, we want to start and end date. If you want to show all data, you can just hit, just make sure the start and end date include all the dates. Otherwise, you can focus on specific times. So I think that's really important for the flexibility of this thing to have a start and end input. For example, let's say we start on 2023 and we want to show the first quarter. So we'll go to 3/30. I believe March has 30 days in it. 31. Okay. Now, how do we want to make this nice and big at the top and show construction, business, KPI success tracker, dashboard. Okay, and I like to do things in gray. Maybe we do a dark gray with a white. This will be bigger font, 14. Okay, so here's the header, start and end date. Now, what do we want to show across the top? Well, based on these dates, we definitely want to see, and let's make these a little bit wider. We want to see total completed jobs. It's a good one. and maybe we have total completed jobs. We want to put, let's see, let's put average quote, average actual, and we can just put price here. Average quoted price, average actual price, average quoted cost, actual quoted cost, and the difference. So I'm just trying to get data points in here. We'll organize it better as we go along here. All right, so average price, we simply do average ifs, and we go average ifs, our final quote, and that'll go down to, let's just do it to let's just do 2,500. If this date is greater than or equal to the start date, and I don't know why we could actually just reference the entire column. Don't need to put in numbers here. So average E if A is greater than C4 and A is also less than or equal to C4. Then we also want to do, well, no, that's fine because that's only going to pull date. So as long as it's got a date in there, you need to make sure the quote is right. Now, why is this and less than or equal to C5 actually? Okay, and we'll put in dollars for the dashboard, dollar signs. Okay, lock this and this. And what we can do is drag this down. So average quoted price, average actual is going to be the same calculation, except actual is in G. We're going to put actual price, quote, quoted price. And then here, okay, this is fine. That's fine. All right, so actual is going to be what column? G. So we go G here. So difference, and we want to do the difference as actual minus quoted. So this difference, if the actual is less than quoted on average, then this would be a negative. And let's say we did that. And then, so if it's a negative, we'll do there. Okay. So here's our look at just the quotes. Now on cost, same idea, except now we're taking F versus H. So there's F and H. So quota costs 15, actual 22, difference of 7,000. Meaning quota cost was 7,000 more than, or actual, hold on, this should say actual cost. On our jobs, the actual cost was 7,000 more on average than the quota cost. Here, the actual was $15,000 less than the quoted price. If your costs are more, that's bad. If your price is less, that's probably bad as well. Actually, this kind of just goes towards more your ability to quote. So your percentage variance, we definitely want to put in. Oh, geez. So difference and then variance from quote. So you're quoting 35,000 on average. Your actual average is 15. On average, you're off by negative 57%. That's probably not good. And then here on your costs, you're 47% over budget, basically on average. So these numbers you probably want to be hitting smaller. Now, total jobs completed would just simply say count A. Actually, no, we got to do a count ifs. We can do this same formula here, except instead of average ifs, it's count. And we'll count ifs if A is in the date range. Now, oh, did I count if A is greater than or equal to C4? Let's put this into March. Okay, a little bit different numbers now. And we got to think about how we want to display this so it looks nice. So these are all so loud. Let me just insert. Okay. So we want this to look nice. Total completed jobs. And these are all within this date range. Average price, actual difference. Now we could also put target. Gross profit and target gross profit percentage. As inputs. And so this is going to be something you go in and put in. And you can see how you did based on the data. So you can say target gross profit. Maybe you want to make on average 22,000 per job. And target gross profit percentage, maybe you want to hit 50% margins. So we don't have profit target here, but we can. And simply, oh, sorry. I believe, let me see if this is the same. If we take the average, so average 888, let me try to do the average gross profit and as M. We'll see if it's the same number. No, because is right, and it won't be because they're different amounts. So you would have to weight it, but regardless, so this is average gross profit. Is M, I believe. Yeah. So let's see, does this make sense to take the average of this? So 28,014 each, or average price. No, because you don't know how many jobs might have gotten to this versus that, so you can't just take, and let's unbold these actually. You can't just take this minus this. You have to go into the data. And let's drag this down. And then what was the actual average in O? Okay. Average gross profit. And then same goes for, let's put these below this. So your variances in uh let's doing that because I've merged. So you've got difference in variance within the pricing versus your costs. You've also got your average gross profit quote and average gross profit actual. So here's your actual numbers you're hitting versus what you're quoting. And I think it's important too to understand in a construction business, what are your quotes? Are your quotes even, hitting your targets that you want? Okay, so where was this? This is M and O. Is that right? Yep, okay. Actual, and then you can also go GP percentage, average GP percentage, quote, whoop, average GP percentage, actual. Now this kind of stuff, I love doing this kind of work. Dashboarding's fun. Structuring the data, it's nice. And then what you do here, again, you can't, well, what's the most accurate way to do this? There's two ways. You could either take the weighted average gross profit, which accounts for the sizes, or you could take, if you, let's say you had a gross profit on $1 million project that was 50% and a gross profit of 2% on a project that was like a $10,000 project. It would give the 2% of the $10,000 project just as much weight as the 50% of the $1 million project. And then you're going to get a skewed, it's going to say the average gross profit is like 25%, but really it's not looking into the sizing of the jobs, which I think I think it makes sense. I think it makes sense to look at the size, but it also makes sense to look at the count of jobs that are hitting your profit margins. Ah, shoot. So this is tricky. This is tricky. We could take the average of N and P. If we did that, maybe we just show both. So this would be non-weighted percentage, non-weighted. And again, like if this job were to have been, let's say this was $1 million project. Okay. It's giving this profit margin of 50% the same way as this 40% margin that was only $8,000 job. And we're just taking the average, which would be, in this case, 45%. But you're not really seeing what that was made up of. It makes this 45% and 48% makes sense if you're just trying to look at, okay, I don't care about the size of the jobs. All I care about is what was the margin, how many times were margin above or below a certain amount. That's fine. Let's do a weighted one as well. Now a weighted one is more complicated. We would have to do some. We'd have to do sum ifs, and you would take the total. Well, hold on. Yeah, sum ifs the total gross profit within this range divided by, and then you take the same sum ifs of the total revenue, which would have been, and we're doing quoted here, so it would have been E. So you do sum if M if the dates match divided by sum ifs E, which is revenue if the dates match. And that's the weighted. So here, and let's change these numbers a little bit more. Quoted. Okay, so my average non-weighted would be 58%, but the average weighted is 74, and that's saying that, well, really your gross profit was higher on a bigger job. So your average quoted weighted for size. And then, oh, dang it. And then on this one, let's just pull this formula. It's the same thing, but instead we're going to do, instead of M and E, we'll do G and P. So P and G, give me the total gross profit divided by total revenue. Oh, now 0%. That's not right. O, not P, I need O. O against G. Okay, 34%. And now that calculation is, look at, we made actual gross profit of this amount, 411,000, on actual revenue charged in the end of this 1.2 million. Gross profit was just that divided by 33. So that's the weighted number, which is not, and I'd say that's the more important one. But you might also want to see what your average is without weighting it, just basically on occurrences of your percentage. Weighted, non-weighted. Okay, so these numbers are good. We want to make them stand out more. So we can, it's kind of hard to see. Maybe move these over. Whoops. And this is where dashboarding can be a little tricky. It's this creativity part of it. So we have, details down here. Maybe make these a little bit smaller. going to make this stand out. This is important. This is important. These variances should be a little bit lower. Okay. I could bold all of these. So your quoted average quoted price, average actual per job. So on average here, we're quoting 20% or our, what is this 100,000? So we're quoting 20% higher than our actual price is 20% higher than the quoted price. Our actual costs are 210% higher than our quoted costs. Then our gross profit average is 380. So this needs a variance too. Hold on. So this should be follow. Oh, come on. So quota price, actual price, quota cost, actual cost. On average, your quota gross margin is 380. Your actual is that, and that should also have a quote and a difference. So in this case, this I would not be happy with. It's basically saying that you're quoting, you're charging more than your quotes. It's costing you way more than your quotes, and your gross profit is down on average 46% on what your quotes are. Like your average gross profit margin is 380, your actual average is 205 per job. Now it's this 380, that should be 411 against 1.2. No, 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 no. Let's think about this. So average of M and O. So average of M is quoted versus actual. So if I look at the average quote, let me look at the total quote price. Just want to see how this works with the quoted cost. Okay, so that's not average of M. 379. Just checking the formulas make sure the formulas are working and all this math before we go forward with the format. So what I'm doing here is looking at the total quoted revenue versus quoted cost, which would give me the total gross margin of all the jobs, so 208, but the average is 379. Again, and that's not weighting your totals, that's just looking at a per job basis. And then actuals what actually happened is you're charging 1.2. Your costs are this. Your actual gross profit across all the jobs is 411. Oh wait, this kind of works because you go and these are two. This is two jobs, so this represents two. That's actually the same weight, and then this times two. Okay, the quote seems, this makes sense. The actual average gross profit per job, and you multiply the amount of jobs, there's two, equals this total. That makes sense. Now the question is, here. Okay, so I think on E should be quote, and then I use H, I should have used expected costs. I'm going to do quota costs. There's a 758, and if you times this by 2, that should be 758. Perfect. Okay. So that makes sense. That's good. So this is average per job, and that will add up to the aggregate, so that's a good number. So on average, we're basically saying on every job we are making $173,000 less than what we are quoted to make. And I'm going to put here, instead of expected costs, I'm going to put quoted costs. Or estimated costs, maybe. Estimated costs, actual costs. Okay. And then here we'll put average estimated. Okay, so this is good. These numbers are all very good, very important. We also have average gross profit percentages. And how do we want to do this? So average gross profit percentage quoted, actual. And we also have these other two, average gross profit weighted quote versus weighted actual. Wait, these are both quote. Hold on. What's this? M and E, O and G. So M is quote, actual would be G versus O, right? So O versus G, this is actual, not quote. Okay, so that's straight. So this weighted one is like a bit, essentially your running total gross profit between the start and end date. This is more saying the number of occurrences of different gross profit percentages. This is the averages of what they are, not caring about the size that each gross profit was attained. And I think you need both of them in here. This shows you kind of your success rate. This shows you your actual gross profit average margin. This is more something you would use to say, well, this is my average. How many times am I above and below that? That's where that would be important. So for this target gross profit, we could put, we could have another data point here, number of jobs meeting gross profit target, number of jobs meeting gross profit percentage target, dollar target. And then out of the total jobs here, so we could do a percentage of each. And we also can do it for quote versus actual. So for quotes, actuals. So number of jobs to meet the target is really simple. We just say count ifs. Number of jobs meeting gross profit dollar amount. So here's our gross profit for quoted. It's M. If count if M is greater than or equal to your target. So that's 1. So you got 22,000. One of them hit that, one of them did not. So that makes sense. But we also want to also check if our date is greater than or equal to start date, and less than or equal to C5. Okay, so that's a good one. Let's see. So we can do that. So that is number of judgment target. We can also do the percentage. So drag this down to the percentage and then also target the percentage gross profit quote. So N. Now this is also important because you want to know that what's your target gross profit? How many jobs are you quoting that actually meet that? And you could and you could take the percentage against the total. Let me just, where the heck was I? Oh yeah, move this text here. Okay, and then we take that divided by this, and essentially you're saying now, whoops, sorry, 50, wait, how'd that get over there? 50% are meeting the gross profit percentage, and 50% are meeting the target. Now, let's say we met the target here, so let's say on this one, on the quota price, let's put this up to 50,000. Okay, so now we're meeting the target here. And the gross profit. Let's see if we can do one where, so the target gross profit, let's put it at 50,000. Now only one of them on the quote metrics, and let's give this a thick bottom. So for quotes, half of the jobs are meeting the gross profit dollar target, but both are meeting the margin target. And then we could do the same thing for actuals. Let's move this percentage of total jobs. Okay, and we could just indent this one. Whoop. Indent. Make these 10, 10. And we could actually italicize this. Okay, now actuals, we want to take the same formula. Let me actually get the same format too. We'll take this formula, and now we go our target gross profit for actual. So instead of M, which is quoted, we're going to take actual gross profit in column O. So how many times is that? How many jobs were above our target here? 1. And then the percentage is same as this one. except now we want actual percentage, which is in P. All right, and then percentage of total, drop these in, just simply take that divided by our total job count in the same date range. Okay. Now I was thinking about potentially adding, so you've got job IDs, you've got subtype 1 and 2. I was thinking about adding more descriptors about the jobs, but I think this is fine. Okay. Does this look better fully indented? So difference, variance. Job summary, job performance, summary, quotes, actuals. I think it is important to look at the history if you're quoting as well as the actual data or actual job stats. All right, let's do, this is an important number at the top. Total jobs, let's try to make that stand out more. Number of jobs meeting GP dollar target, percentage of total, this is good. Average quota price, average actual. See, on these, you kind of like these to be squared up. Problem is, it's just different data. I mean, we could just put these, sorry. We could just delete this row maybe. Put a thick bottom in there. Does it make sense to put these together or put the weighted next to like average gross profit percentage quoted, average actual, average quoted weighted, average actual weighted? Or is it easier to see by doing the weight, the quote, and the weight, and then the actual weight, like that? So here, the average and the weight are actually, the weighted amount is almost the same. That must be because the jobs, the quoted amounts were similar, which they're not. Wait, let's look at this again. So this is averaging N versus, and then it should be M against E, which it is. I guess it happened to just be closer. I guess it's kind of a coincidence. And then here, average gross profit, actual, and then the weighted. Okay, I think these are all very, very important numbers. I'm trying to think of the best way to do to just make it look really nice. Like maybe we put these like in a detailed, like shift these down and call out like high level metrics up top more. like completed jobs, average price, actual average gross profit, like up at the top. Trying to think about what looks nice. Average actual price per job. So you've got total charge, what you're making per job, how many jobs in the period. This is like a detailed job margin analysis. Now this is also going to be a little bigger font, maybe 12. Average actual. Okay, average actual price, average actual gross profit. Now, and then here's the detail where you can see quoted versus actual, estimated cost versus actual. Now, does this equal, if I take the price minus this 405, okay, that does match. So the actual cost per job is going to be the difference between these two. So that's fine. We don't need to add it up top. We might be able to make this a little bit smaller. So you put in your configuration here. This drives, this. It can be very meaningful when you have a lot of data in here as well. All right, so I think this is like the most important information. How many jobs you're looking at, what was your average amount charged, what was your average gross profit per job. That's like super high level, very important. Then you've got your margin analysis where you can see your average quote versus actual, your cost versus actual, the difference per job on average. What are you off by? Variance. So this 16% is probably pretty good. This 210% obviously means there's something wrong. And then obviously margins, your quoted margin versus your actual, the difference is, and then the average margins. Okay, this is pretty good. So for visual, like we also have, we have job types here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. We want to show data on that, but we want to try to stay high level. So maybe up here we could put, how do we want to do this? Or maybe under actual gross profit, we can put the different types here and do the average by type. So we could take this, maybe put it in here. but then add another slicer. So we're averaging O as well as, so O is the actual as well as if this matches. Okay, and then, so it kind of gives you the breakdown below it. Whoops. So here, on average, our residential gross profits are 11,000, institutional commercial is 400, and then 0, 0. And I kind of like if we can do the slash for zeros. Can we do this, but with a dollar sign? There we go. And then no decimals, actually. Perfect. Okay, so actual, and so these are all. So residential, there. We can do a summary on this as well. Let's add, well, this is fine. Let's add some charts here. So I think it's kind of nice to see this gross profit breakdown. Gross profit by job type. Now, how do we make this look really slick? This needs to be smaller. This needs to be currency, no decimals. Again, I like the gray. Okay, so average. Now this is average, not total. This font needs to be smaller as well. Gross profit by type. Average gross profit per average gross profit by type. Okay. Now if we added a couple here, let's just say we added a couple more of these. Let's just pick a different type. All right. Average gross profit by type. That's a good one. We want to match this whole formatting though. Let's put this back to black and light gray if we're going to do that. Okay. Oh, dang, we got a fair amount of viewers in and out today. Very nice. Welcome. We are dashboarding. All right, so total jobs now is up to 6. Let me change actuals to all caps. Quotes. So all 6 meet that. I believe what we want to do is put if you're at 100%, let's make it green. So let's see if we can do it here. Equal to 1. And then let's say this is 10, 100,000. So we're still meeting the percentage target, but not the dollar amount. Okay, just making sure that works. Same with this. So if it's equal to 1, we go green. Let's put these back down. Okay, so all green. If 100%. Now, I think that's good. Checking if basically we're checking, are we hitting our gross margins is the question. On a per job basis, on an aggregate basis, you can see the weighted amounts here. How are our quotes versus how our actual numbers are showing up for jobs. Now our target GP, we can also put conditional formatting. We'll have to do a formula, but we can say on average, let's try and do this. So if we're looking at cell, this is our target, and then we want to apply that. We want it to be green. Okay, if C8, if K here is greater than or equal to this. Now we want to lock this, but this we don't want to lock going down because we want to apply it to K17, 18, 19, and 20. Check all of them. If they're greater than C8, then give a green. Okay, that did not work. Okay, let's just try, maybe Excel wants us to highlight them all. Okay, that does seem to work. Let's make sure, let's put this at like 25. Okay, that works. Let's also apply this to I over. So we can see the whole column. Okay, perfect. So it's working. So we can see what's hitting our gross profit target. While gross profit percentage margin, the only thing is our quotes are hitting the target. Our weighted quotes at our average gross profit weighted, and really, I think this is a better term for this is total gross profit, because it's the total of all of it. I think it's a better term. Total gross profit is 34%. Average gross profit percentage per job. Average gross profit percentage per job. Although we do say job margin analysis here. Maybe we don't need to put it in per job. Average gross profit percentage. So right now we're just saying that our quotes are hitting the target. Our total gross profit is not. Our actual gross profit per job is definitely not. And our total gross profit actual is not. Now, what about our average gross profit dollar amount? So 65,000. That would be this and this. So we can do some formatting there. Because average gross profit per job. Yep, that would work. So we go here, new rule, and we want to say if this is greater than or equal to this dollar amount. Let the 17 go, and then we want to format green. Okay, and I want to actually manage that rule. We want to apply it to this whole thing here. And I believe, yeah, that works. Oh, wait, we only want to apply it to 18, not to 20. Okay, so just these two. So if this were 210,000, that means our quotes are hitting our average target, our actuals are not. So our goal is to see, let's say, make all these green. Our goal is you want green here, and green here would be the goal. This is saying all our margins are hitting our margin targets, our profit dollar amount targets per job are being hit. Our job counts, on average, all of our jobs, 100% of the jobs are hitting. Because these could be green, but these might not all be green because you could have some bad jobs, but your good jobs outweigh enough that your averages still meet it, but your job counts will tell you how many actual jobs are hitting those targets. So I think that's important to have both of these. Okay. So this is going pretty good. We have this. Do we want to do summaries on these detailed amounts is the question. Like by secondary type. I don't know. We also, let's put these in for all of these summaries here. I think that is going to make sense. So we can see how many jobs were of each type. And in this case, so this, we go here and we just do a count if. Count ifs if O. We don't need a dollar amount actually, just count ifs. The dates are in between there and we match that. So we had 3 residentials, one here, one there, one in that one, and then this one. And now we are taking a price, so let's do copy Same deal, but instead of taking the average of O, we're going to take the average of the actual price charged in G. So on average, these 3 residential jobs were $414,000 each. 1.2, and let's see, does that make sense? Residential was 50 and 100. No, actual was 22. So here average 611. Wait, there's another for 222. So it would have been residential this, just checking the math here, plus this one divided by 3. 414. Okay, perfect. So that formula is working. Yep, I think this is great. You can see your total completed jobs and then completed by type for the period, the average price charged per job, and then the average price charged per residential, etc. Then the average gross profit earned by each. I think that's the most important information. Let's make this balanced 16 and 16. Yeah, we need to make these look. Let's see, what's this column with? 15. So then if that's 15 and the second one is, let's do 12 maybe. So 15, 12. We want 15, 12, 15, 12. Okay, and then this could be a little bit less actually. Let's do 12 on here. And on here as well. All right. This is nice. What's going on, guys? Whoa, I got a spike of people. What's up? What's up? We are having fun grinding on this dashboard for construction business success. We've got a pretty nice dashboard. We've got all the database laid out so you can enter jobs, job types, quotes, estimated quote, estimated cost, actual quote or actual price charge, actual cost, and all the margins related to that. Oh, we're also doing satisfaction stats. I forgot about that, so we'll have to add that in here. We've got a nice dashboard showing the main high-level items. Thinking about what else we might want in here. This is pretty good. Okay, so we do need to account for like how many jobs had an accident. We can, let's say none of these did, maybe these 2 did. Just random, and then let's say the employees were satisfied and was the customer satisfied? And it's simple yes, no. And those are also important to track. So let's put here, maybe we'll say customer job satisfaction and safety. And we can just put, so out of the total, we can put satisfied customers, satisfied employees, and accidents. Now, for this, simply doing we could probably use one of these. Yep, we could do this. So count ifs in the date range. Count if M is in the date range. We don't need this first calculation. But we do need if this is yes. So those are satisfied customers in I. Let's lock our numbers here so we can just drag this down. And satisfied employees is in J. And then accidents, which we would like to be in 0, that's I think in column K. I, J, K. All right. That's good. Now, what we would say here is accidents. Format this. If it is equal to 0, then that's good. We'll give it a green. So let's test it, make sure it works. Say there's no accidents at all. There you go, green. That's good. Manage rules. Can I actually apply this to both of these? Oh, it doesn't want to work. B to C25. Ah, I see. So that won't work. I have to do a formula. That's fine. Let's just keep this. Okay. We'll just keep that in the value column only. All right. And then satisfy customers. We can do a percentage of the total jobs. So how many jobs had satisfied customers? How many jobs had satisfied employees? How many jobs had accidents? This you want 0%. These two obviously you want to shoot for 100%. Okay, let's give this all a border. And honestly, this looks kind of weird. Let's try to, don't need to underline that. Let's give this a thick bottom. And then all of these can be indented. Let's go accounting and indent. Just so we're looking congruent. And same with these. What font? Let's lower the font as well. Down to 10. All right. So this is good. Let's give this a space actually. Customer job satisfaction, safety. So of these jobs, we had 83% were satisfied customers, no accidents. What else might be good? This is kind of hard to read here, but you got the data up top here, so that's okay. Let's make all these subsections 10 font. All right, these can be, let's give these a nice formatting too if there's 0. It'll show us a dash. Perfect. Okay, same with this. And then these don't need underlined. Looking good. keep that there. Looking good. What else do we want to put on the dashboard? We can do, what's going on, guys? What's going on? We could do also like this kind of thing with the secondary job types. We need a lot of space for that though. Because there's, what do we have here? 10? So the option is either we remove it or we just don't put logic to it. And we just report on the 4 main types of jobs we're doing and not the subtypes. I think it's important to see the average gross profit by job type. The quotes versus actuals on prices or cost as well, and margins. I think that's all important. What else? And what you'll do is you'll identify your goals for like all of these different things, and then you can use this to track, are you hitting your goals or not? This needs to be down a little bit. So I'm not sure if we want to do those subtypes or not. There we go. I mean, it's not hard to do. I just don't know where to put it or how to make it look nice. We can do it like on the monthly summary for sure. We can do like gross profit, revenues, costs, all that stuff on a monthly basis for like a 12-month period and show all this different data across time as well and not just a date range. Let's make sure our date range is working too. Let's put this at like 6, 5, 4. Okay, good. So there, let's change this up to 4:30. Okay, and then let's go to 5 and 7. Perfect. So that's working. We can query any data between a given start and end date. We can set some targets here. Do we want to make this? Yeah, maybe that looks nicer. Let's remove these grid lines. Maybe like that. Okay, all right. So dashboard, what else do we want to do here? Oh, I know what I want to do on this actually. Let's do conditional formatting on the job type. So we want to put anything that equals type 1. So it'll give any, based on the job type you select here, the row will highlight a color. Let's manage the rules though. So if that equals that, and that should be locked, maybe we'll do just the high level colors here. and we want it to apply to A2, and we want that to go to the right and down. No, wait, we don't want to test. We want to apply it to C2, right? So we're checking in C2 every time. We don't want to check any going right or left, but we do want it to be unlock going down. I don't know if this is going to work. Oh, what happened? Oh, did we lose it? New rule. So equals if this equals the first one here. Okay. And then I want to format this top one to color. And we want to apply it to we want to apply it to the whole thing. All the way across. And down to 2000. Or 2500 is fine. Okay, now this is not working still. Let's look back at it. Conditional formatting in Excel is, in Google Sheets, it's a lot cleaner actually. It's not here. So let's see if that's locked. This can go down. There we go. Okay. Is the first one residential? It is. Perfect. All right. And that's working. Now let's say manage rules. Duplicate this for 4 of them, and then this one is going to be equal to A3. And let's format that as this color. We can keep C2 that one. What was it? A2, 3, 4 can be this color. And then, so we got 2, 3, 4, and then A5. If it equals, then you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What's a good different one? Maybe that. Okay, so as you change this, it will change the color of the row. That'll also tell you if you've had a data entry error in column C, then it will not show up as any color. In the way I did it with the formula, with the conditional formatting, now if you change this, and it will automatically update. So I could put, instead of residential, I could say, test 1, 2, 3, and now test 1, 2, 3 is what makes it change color. Without a formula, you could not do that. You would have to go into the formula, manually change it to say equals something else. So that's kind of nice. We can do that. If you don't want it, you can just go in here, formatting, manage rules, and just delete all the rules. And then there'll be no colors. Or you could change the rules. Go in, edit rule, just go to format, change the color, simple. All right, I forgot about that. I wanted to do that. So that's good. Our dashboard's looking great. What else do we want to do here? So margin analysis, total, high level, really important data, chart. I mean, we could put, if you want to report on job type 2, we could go down the left-hand side maybe and say uh, average actual GP job type 2 slicer. And so we know the average for all the jobs is this, or actually we can reference this. And then here we could go all 10. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so these are already indented 1. Okay, and now same deal. We go, it's an average ifs within the date range. But we also say, instead of checking that, we check if database D is equal to C or B30. Average O, if A is there, A is that, and C, oh wait, and B. Wait, no, that's right. And, oh, D. This is D. Okay. And let's actually put some data in here. Pools, patios, what have you, extra slot, you know, demolition, I don't know. Whatever you put, you've got 10 secondary things you can do there. Extra slot 1. Let's try to make it make sense. So home remodel, patio, a commercial, maybe demolition, infrastructure heavy. Let's put extra slot 1. Let's do a pool. And specialized industrial do demolition. Just so we got some, okay, perfect. There we go. So pools, patios is both 11,000, which is based on this less this. Now, honestly, these colors, I don't know. Does anybody have an opinion on the colors, guys? Because I'm, I don't know how distracting it is or not. For example, do we just, is it look better with these different colors, or do we do a grayscale? Like we start with this and just go down, just so you can see they're different, but it's still kind of grayish. Because when you're entering these in here, you know, this is all data entry, all of this. So I guess it doesn't matter because you don't have to know if something is data entry or not, or a formula. These are all data entry except for this. So maybe stop in column L on all of these instead of P. We go to L. And then these, you know, not to mess with. This is all data entry, all these other ones. Okay, that's fine. So average actual gross profit, job type 2 slicer. So here's what you're making on the second type of jobs. That's fine. We could do a chart for those as well. Let's try to move the data. Okay, it's not letting me. That's fine. We just highlight it right here. Whoop, sorry. And let's give these slant. There's too many. Minus 30. And maybe make them a little bit bigger. Try 8, maybe. Okay. 8. Fill. Similar coloring. They're just thinner. Okay, so you can get even more granular if you want. What's this? Same concept. Oh, we did count here. We could also do count. So average gross profit by type per job. We can also do total count, which we know is 6. And then to do that, same formula as we did here, except now we want to reference that and with column D. And we'll just sum up down here so it makes sense. So this is date range. This is all date range specific. We could probably let's put a percentage in here. Maybe make it small, like 8. So half the jobs are this and that. I don't know if we want to put the percentages in a chart. Like you could do a pie chart with the percentages. Or I guess you could do the same as this, but just make it a pie chart. Or maybe we should just do it with these. Like I'm trying to figure out what to do with this extra space here. Maybe we move this down. Put this back over here. If we want to see a more granular view of the jobs, percentages. You see percentages up here. Okay. So a pie chart. Let's do it. That'll fill this box here, and then I think we'll be good to go. Let's do a pie, maybe 3D pie chart. Okay, what are you saying is series 1? Okay, that's fine. What's series 2? The same? Where's the chart? Pie charts are always goofy sometimes. Let me see if I can paste this in here. That is definitely not working. Is it because, oh wait, let's merge. Might be because these are unmerged. Okay. Total completed jobs, average actual price per job. Dang it. All right, we'll make this a little bit bigger. Okay, so let's try this again. Insert pie chart. Why doesn't it want to do it? Let me just pick the data. Okay, let's try this. Might be just because the merge of the cells. Let's just, okay, there. Yep. So we just have to do a chart data. So for this to work, we need to reference it somewhere else and put these values in. Okay, remove all this, and then I don't know why it just doesn't want to reference it right there with the merge cells, so we can do it here. So percentage by percentage of jobs completed by type. So over the time frame, we can say each X percentage of each job is completed in a pie chart. Now, I know the pie charts are kind of hard to get to work really right. Let's put in data labels. We want the, not the value, we want the percentage. Oh, shoot. Percentage. And then, there we go. So if we have, wait, what's the series? No, we don't care about that. Nope. Okay. So we want this. We don't need a legend. And there we go. There's only going to be 4. We can give these a white fill. Love the grayscale. We'll give them a little of that. Now, can I update the shape? Nope, it won't let me do the grayscale with that. Okay, that's fine. Let's give it an outline at least. Okay. Maybe bold. Put this over on the left. And let's make it smaller. So jobs completed by type. Now let's make sure this is lined up. Looks pretty good. Kind of wish I could change the colors of these, but I know they start, if you change it, it'll update when the chart updates, so I'll just leave it. Let me make sure these are at least the same color though. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Nope, they're not. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. All right. Well, I believe the dashboard is complete. I believe this is good. You can make a lot of actionable insights on this. You can see how your historical performance has been on a per job basis. Pretty clean formatting. And let's see if we zoom in here one more. There we go. That's pretty nice. All right. I'm happy with this. So I'm going to, there's still a monthly detail. I'm going to do that maybe tomorrow. What is today? Wednesday, Tuesday? And maybe I'll do that tomorrow on stream and get this thing ready to be sold. Probably just charge $45 one-time fee for this template. It is specific to the construction industry, but you might be able to use this for other industries. You just change the labels, and it could be, any industry really that does job quoting. But yeah, this is good. We'll update the start tab as well. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Check out more financial models at SmartHelping.com. You can buy everything for $9.99. When I do finish this, it will be added to the accounting bundle, the HR bundle, and the sales pipeline CRM template bundle as well. Alrighty.